So, the BAFTA Film Awards. A man with a disability has an involuntary vocal tic. And just like that, the internet, in its infinite wisdom, instantly becomes judge, jury, and apparently a leading neurologist. Yeah. Let's get into this, because what unfolded is a perfect and pretty ugly example of a huge problem. How we all rush to judgment online about things we know absolutely nothing about.
This right here, this was just one of the takes flooding social media. And it sounds so sure of itself, right? He should have done everything he could. It's dripping with this idea of personal failure, like he just didn't try hard enough. It paints a picture that the man at the center of all this, John Davidson, simply chose to let this happen.
And that's really the heart of the matter, isn't it? This verdict, dished out by a bunch of armchair experts, is confident, is decisive, and it is completely 100% wrong. It's built on a total misunderstanding of a really complex neurological condition. So let's set the record straight.
Okay, so before we can really tear this myth apart, we need to do a quick factual reset. We've got to be on the same page. So what is Tourette syndrome actually?
Look, there's one word here that changes the entire conversation. You see it? Involuntary. That's the whole ballgame. We're not talking about a choice someone makes or a bad habit. It's a neurological disorder. The brain is firing off signals that the body simply cannot ignore or stop, period.
And this is another huge misconception a lot of people have. When you hear Tourette's, you probably think of swearing, right? But that specific tic, it's called coprolalia, only affects a small fraction of people with the condition, somewhere between 10 and 30%. So what happened at the BAFTAs is actually a minority experience, not the default. And for those who have it, it can be absolutely devastating.
So let's just be crystal clear about this. There is no cure. There's no magic pill, no simple management technique. And I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the back, the tics are involuntary. The entire online pylon was built on this one false idea that he could just control it. And that's an idea that medical science completely rejects.
Okay, and this gets us to the absolute core of the confusion. The internet experts are mixing up two totally different things, suppression and control. They are not, and I mean not, the same thing.
And here's another one of those confidently wrong takes. Tourette's means no filter, which means this man thought it. Oh man, this assumes a tic is just a thought that slipped out, unfiltered. No, no, no. That is not how this works. It's not a thought escaping. It's a neurological misfire. It's a glitch that can make someone say something they don't believe, don't feel, and don't mean at all.
You know what? Let's try something right now so you can feel what I'm talking about. Just try not to blink. Go on for like 10, 20 seconds. Do you feel that? That pressure building up? That need? And when you finally let go, that blink is huge, right? It's way more forceful than a normal one. See? You didn't control the need to blink. You just suppressed it for a little while. And that little experiment? That's what it's like. Suppressing a tic is like holding your breath underwater. You can do it for a bit, but it's physically exhausting, and eventually you have to come up for air. And often when the tic finally breaks through, it's even worse than it would have been. It is a constant, draining battle, not some simple switch you can just flip off.
So, who cares, right? Why does this even matter? Well, it's not just about people being wrong on Twitter. This kind of confident ignorance, it does real damage. It causes actual harm. So let's talk about what that damage really looks like.
I mean, just look at this side by side. The online take was, see, he knew what he did was horrible, that's why he left. It paints him as guilty, but the reality? Here it is from John Davidson himself. I was deeply mortified. I chose to leave as I was aware of the distress my tics were causing. He left out of empathy and embarrassment, not guilt. The internet story completely writes his own pain out of the equation.
And the damage doesn't stop there. This whole thing spreads dangerous medical misinformation. It heaps even more stigma onto people dealing with a neurological condition. It causes genuine distress. It basically takes the real, lived, and often incredibly difficult experience of neurodivergent people and turns it into cheap entertainment for everyone else to judge.
Honestly, sometimes you just have to call it like you see it. And the critical drinker really nailed the frustration here, saying that what he heard was one of the most insanely idiotic things he's ever heard. And you can feel that, can't you? The absolute exasperation of watching this tidal wave of nonsense from people who have no idea what they're talking about.
All right, so we've cut through the noise, we've corrected the facts. What's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing we really need to get from all of this?
Here's the thing. It's actually not that complicated. You can hold two ideas in your head at the same time. You can recognize that a word is deeply harmful and offensive,
And you can also understand that the person who said it had absolutely no control over it. These two truths don't cancel each other out. It's called nuance. It's called empathy. It's not that hard.
And at the end of the day, maybe the voice we should be listening to the most is John Davidson's, the man who is literally there to celebrate a film about his own life, a life spent trying to teach empathy, kindness, and understanding. The irony is just staggering, isn't it? The very things he champions were completely missing from the reaction to his own condition.
So, I'm just going to leave you with this thought. Because let's be real, this isn't going to be the last time something like this happens. The next time some complex human situation gets boiled down to a 15-second clip for everyone to get angry about, what are we going to do? Are we going to be the ones piling on, joining the chorus of the loudest voices? Or are we going to take a breath and maybe, just maybe, listen to the people with the actual lived experience? It's a choice we all have to make.